Presenting the Challenges Group.
So good day everyone, I am Jessica Adlawan. I am the first reporter of our group, which is the Challengers Group. Our report is all about documentation, monitoring, and evaluation of Nstp community-based projects. Planning and implementing a Nstp project is one vital issue in Nstp community immersion. Measuring the success of the project is another thing. The trainees do not carry out plans just for the sake of compliance. Otherwise, the very purpose of community immersion is defeated. Hence, proper documenting, monitoring, and evaluating the Nstp community-based project are a must. Learning objectives. At the end of the unit, the student must be able to identify the documents, monitoring, and evaluation instrument needed in measuring the success of an Nstp community immersion project. Make use of the documentation technique, monitoring guides, and evaluation instrument to ensure meaningful program implementation of Nstp, and appreciate the values of having proper documentation, monitoring, and evaluation of the project for community service. There are 5 aspects of evaluating the Nstp community project. His presentation was divided into 5 parts. First, issue identification. Second, project development. Third, project implementation. Fourth, monitoring and evaluation. And last is tips for development practitioner. First is issue identification. So it is the part of the scientific method as it serves as the first step in a systematic process to identify, evaluate a problem, and explore potential solutions. Second is project development. It is the process of planning and allocating resources to fully develop a project or product from concept to go live. Third is project implementation. To implement a project means to carry out activities proposed in the application form with the aim to achieve project objectives and deliver results and outputs. The fourth is monitoring and evaluation. So it is used to assess the performance of project institutions and programs set up by the governments and international organizations and the NGOs. Its goal is to improve current and future management of outputs, outcomes, and impact. So lastly is the tips for development practitioner. So the first step is to invest time in knowing the culture in which you are operating. Second step is hear what the community has to say. Third is demonstrate respect. Fourth, show patience. Fifth, gain the support of local power structures. Sixth is be inclusive. And last is provide solid evidence and etc. So the next topic will be discussed by another reporter.
Good day everyone, my name is Yusel Serna Arupilio, and today we're going to discuss about documentation of the Nstp project for community services. So documentation is a clear-cut proof that projects are conducted with the notes and observation being recorded as guidelines for future programs like the Nstp. A dynamic documentation service requires information and new development and management relevant to the work and the program, especially on update status report is the reference of data that can be the source of information for Nstp, additional income and undertaking for the institution, Second, information on the work methods used and results obtained in previous programs must be available for new assignments. 3. Serves as reference for the trainees, information source data for requirements, staff personal evidence for rating of student trainees, performance and growth, evidence to support it extend in helping strengthen the extension service or community outreach of institution. So documentation is necessary gud siya, diba? Para naakay proof or evidence. And also documentation should have a purpose good that helps to support the teaching and learning. So sa documentation, diha ni mo mabalaan, diha ni mo mabase kung naaba kay na learn or na gain nga knowledge. Sa documentation, it make sure nga imo project requirements are fulfilled and to establish traceability concerning what has been done, who has done it, and when it has been done. So documentation is a reservoir of information that can improve the project. So next, the list of Nstp forms required for documentation during community immersion. So during community immersion, ang mga trainees mag-submit sila first is waiver, second is letter of request sa kanang barangay to conduct immersion, 3. Acceptance letter of barangay, 4. Community needs assessment, 5. Memorandum of agreement or memorandum of understanding, and 6. They should submit narrative report format. So diba pag mag-require tag documentation dapat is dapat complete ang imuhang documentation, diba? So for the trainers sa kanang mag-trainers, first is i-copy nila ang all documents sa kanang immersion of the students, like the waiver, ang letter of request to the barangay to conduct for immersion, acceptance letter of barangay, community needs assessment, memorandum of agreement or memorandum of understanding, then grade sheets. So ang mga trainees is gina-copy na nila, gina-record na nila ang project or ang performance sa ilang students. Ang mga trainers sila sab ang naga-monitor ana. They know the rules and responsibilities when they conduct community services. Then third is summary list of graduates with a specialization, 4. Accomplishment reports, and last is program of instruction. So next is monitoring of Nstp projects. So results monitoring is a systematic and continuous procedure in checking programs and projects done during the Nstp community immersion. It is an awareness of the state of a project. Monitoring of projects is done consistently and by certain measures. It is an observation of several changes that occur over time. Monitoring of project is done constantly and by certain measures. It is an observation of several changes that occur over time. So in every project for Nstp, its activities requires an effective system to provide information on the extent which projects are achieving their objectives. So dapat ang mga activities gina-check na siya. It is conducted in an economical and timely manner. So ang information is provided in both monitoring and evaluation system, which provides information required by planners, policy makers, trainers, and the trainees involved in the program. So sa Nstp, ang trainees o ang trainers is gina-evaluate, gina-monitor nila ang mga project sa evaluation, ang mga project So evaluation means the value or meat of his teaching learning activities. So di ba pag humanato ka ng immersion o pag humanato sa community services, after makomply na nimo tanan nimo documents is after ana is present dayon nimo na about sa nasabtan nimo mga ingana. In example, trainees would take note of whether there is an increasing participation among the community people in the series of projects that they conduct. So sa pag-monitor, it provides a certain degree of background knowledge on what else to change, to adjust, and to adapt over the course of time that the project is being implemented. So that's all. I hope na nawinasab kong gamay. Thank you and God bless everyone.
Hi everyone, I am Edelyn Concha and I am going to report about the significance of monitoring in Nstp projects. So before I discuss the significance of monitoring in Nstp, I will going to explain first of what is a project monitoring. What is a project monitoring? So project monitoring makes it possible to control the good progress of the project according to the established schedule and that the human, material, and financial resources are well fixed and respected. Of course, project monitoring does not avoid problems but makes it easier to detect them and react quickly in order to find an appropriate solution. Monitoring in Nstp projects is very essential to determine 1. Whether the inputs are achieved on time or as planned. So, kung ang input ba ay nakamit sa oras o bilang na plinano. 2. Whether the activities were conducted as scheduled. Kung ang activity ba ay isinagawa ayon sa schedule. 3. Whether the outputs were produced on time or outputs were in right quantity as specified on the project design. Kung ang output ay ginawa sa oras o ang output ay nasa tamang dami tulad ng tinutukoy sa disenyo ng proyekto. How will monitor in Nstp projects during community immersion? People involved in monitoring community service projects done by trainees taking community immersions are the trainees themselves, trainers, barangay official concerned, partners, agencies involved in the projects, and others who are not involved but are concerned with the projects. So, ang mga taong involved sa pagmomonitor ng mga project ay ang mga trainees, mga tagapagsanay or trainers, mga official ng mga barangay na kinaukulan, mga katuwang sa ahensyang kasangkot sa project, and others who are not involved but are concerned with the project. To ensure success of the Nstp project monitoring plan is necessary as a mean of getting data for information and input for decision making. It includes 1. Data information needed in rational decision making. 2. Personnel involved in the execution of project, collection of data, and problem identification. 3. Know about the data are reported and to be reported. And 4. Levels of implementation. Tools needed for monitoring purposes. Professional community workers not there rely on their good memory to record their findings in the community. They use some tools and processes to record, monitor, and validate the soundness of the formation and activities they have. Some of the helpful tools in monitoring in Nstp projects include kining mga professional dili lang sila mag-base or magsalig sa ilang memory para i-record ang mga ilang natuklasan sa komunidad. ang mga professional mogamit sab silag tools and process para i-record o monitor and validate or patunayan ang mga katumpakan ng pagbuo at ng mga activity na mayroon sila. So, 1. Journal or process recording. According to Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary, a journal is an account of day-to-day events. B. A record, experience, ideas, or reflection kept regularly for private use. Similarly, as a process recording is also an account of day-to-day events, but it deals heavily on how a certain task was performed and achieved. This can be very useful in putting together the pieces of data monitored. 2. Gantt chart, created by Henry Gantt to illustrate summary breakdown of work elements. The Gantt chart is useful in monitoring Nstp projects are being implemented on time. 3. Summary checklist. From the start, the implementers of the project write the indicators that need to be present to check whether there is progress. Usually, the objectives of the project, task, materials, and person involved are written on the checklist. Across these items are columns to be checked whether they have been complied or not. So from the start, ang mga implementers ng proyekto ay nagsusulat ng mga tagapaghiwatig ng kanilang naroroon upang suriin kung may pag-unlad. Usually, ang layunin ng proyekto, gawain, materials at ang taong sasangkot ay nakasulat sa checklist. In this item ay may mga column na titingnan kung nakasunod ang mga ito o hindi. So that's all.
Good day, everyone. This is Jennifer Cheeseman, and our topic for today was all about sample monitoring plan format for an Nstp project. So, what is monitoring plan? Monitoring plan is a written plan that describes what will be monitored and how. A good monitoring plan is simple. It is based on existing monitoring mechanisms and source of information that collects only as much information as is used by the project team. It is provided necessary data to guide strategic planning, the design and implement programs and project, and to allocate and reallocate resources in a better ways. So, this is the operational plan or a plan. Clean and Green, a project of waste management and Green Philippines. Basis: name of project, monitoring requirements, proposal making specific, compliance, complete or incomplete, and the remarks. So, purpose: to determine the project inputs, activity inputs, activity preparation of proposal, and waste and management. Date to gathered: needs, source, location, persons involved, identification of institutional levels of needs, resource of particular target. Source of data: target clients or partner agencies. Date gathering and prioritizing needs of the target clients and resource from the clients and partner agencies. Tools for gathering data: use the device from another Nstp2 documents. Delivering survey questionnaire related to the level of instruction, assessing baseline record for the community. Time of gathering: before project implementation, March 15 to 30, 2017. Frequency of the gathering data: once before the conduct of the project. Gathering before the conduct of the project. personnel who will gather and analyze the data. Student assigned. Name of the student assigned. Attendance to the waste management lecture. Attendance sheet. Indications of number and the type of clients. Duration. Following specified schedule indicate in the programming lecture. Depth of knowledge and the expertise on the subject matter was illustrated. The content. Content is presented in a commonly understood terms. Set up the waste bins and trash cans. Waste bins and trash cans. Presence of waste bins and trash cans in the designated places. Community participation. People in the community assess the student trainees in the placement of the waste bins and trash cans. Monitoring and evaluation. Monitoring and evaluation form. Administrating and distribution of monitor and evaluation forms after every major activity. So the last is the final report. Compilation of group work, written narrative, and reflection. And that's all. Thank you.
Appendices A, sample of community map. So community map, sometimes called asset mapping. It is all about involving residents in identifying the assets of their neighborhood, looking at opportunities and creating a picture of what it's like to live there. So community map also have the importance. It can encourage people become powerful advocates for the transformation of the species in which they live, becoming more civically minded in the process. Also, community map have the purpose. So it helps us understand the unique needs, assets, and perspective within each individual community. So this picture represents the sample of community map.
Good day to each and everyone, especially to our beautiful teacher, Ma'am Josephine Madayag. And at this moment, my topic is all about on spiritually under the dimension moral of citizenry. So first we have inclusion of Bible study and fellowship activities in the social mobilization and practicum of students of the National Service Training Program Nstp during the second semester of each school year. Second, Pamaskong Handog 2017 para sa mga kabataan ng Tuloy-Tuloy Foundation on Education. Third is Fun with Number, a tutorial class for young math learners of Barangay 660. Number 4, Damayan sa Barangay, sama-samang pagkilos tungo sa pagbibigay ng mahusay na edukasyon sa kabataan, an advocacy project of the constituents of Malulus National High School. So these are the activities that will develop the moral dimension of citizen. Mauni ang upat ka mga activities nga belong sa spiritual. Next, on health, number 5. Iwas droga, isang usapin pang komunidad sa tulong ng CWTS Plus. So napoy mga activities na ilang gihimo mahitungod sa anti-droga sa mga kabataan. On environmental concern, number 6. Brigada Bantay Kalikasan sa paligid ng eskwela ng CWTS WTEs group. And then, number 7, Linis Ganda, Linis TUP. On Safety and Disaster Management. Number 8, Ligtas Sakuna, Taong Bayan, Handa Lecture Service o Series on Disaster Management and Preparedness. So naapoy sila yung mga activities nga gihatag sa mga kabarangayan or sa mga schools aron nga ang tagsa-tagsa kanato is makahimo sa pag-andam sa bisan unsa na mga mahitabo sa ato ang kapanahonan, mahimo ta nga ma-prepared sa mga disaster nga moabot. On entrepreneurship. Number 9, kumikitang pangkabuhayan patok sa masa, a livelihood activity of Barangay San Jose in partnership with CWTs. Number 10, kapihan sa Barangay San Jose, masasarap na paninda sa maaring ipangkabuhayan. Next, on sports and recreation. Number 11, kilos sigla exercise tuwing umaga, araw-araw na ehersisyo kasama ang mga nakakatanda na road act. So nagnapod sila yung mga program naghihatag sa mga kadabaranggayan kung ato ang na-experience, matag kaadlawon is nagapahigayon yun sila o exercise, zumba, kauban sa mga katigulangan or mga kabataan. On found generation. Number 12, subastahan sa UL, AM auction thereby for a host. Number 13, lastly, scraps drive for GK families, both diaryot lata para sa GK kapamilya handog UL. So balik ta sa ato ang topic on spiritually under the dimension moral of citizenry. When we say moral, it is the principle of right and wrong. So those activities that were mentioned will help students to do good and increase their moral dimension. So the next topic will be discussed by next reporter. Thank you and God bless everyone.
Hi everyone, I'm John Leo Augusta. I'm here to share you about the Memorandum of Agreement. Memorandum of Agreement, or MOA, is a document written between the parties to cooperatively work together on an agreed upon project or meet an agreed upon objective. The purpose of an MOA is to have a written formal understanding of the agreement between parties. There are 5 steps of memorandum agreement or memorandum understanding. First is determine the appropriate agreement type. Second step is determine the parties involved in developing the agreement. Third is create the draft agreement. Fourth is submit draft agreement for coordination review. And the last is finalized agreement. A memorandum of agreement, or MOA, is a written document that describes how two parties will work together to meet a common objective. MOAs help partners specify the purpose of their collaboration, as well as the roles and responsibilities of each partner in achieving articulate goals. That's all. Thank you.